welcome to our meeting. Any announcements does anybody have any announcements? The only one I got is the August Wiliki article. They're looking for a headline article for August. If anybody wants to share one, we can submit one on behalf of EAH. Just let me or Sam know, and then we can get it together. All right, well, today Andrew Stanton all the way from San Francisco. We'll talk about our future with AI, and we will have your input following them. Phil will facilitate the discussions, so go for it, Phil.
I think at this point I will going to hand it over to Andy, who had occasion to directly participate in the Waymo driverless vehicle. And he'll tell you one thing about his attitude toward it, and illustrating that this is a process by which we get buy-in.
I entitled this Adventures in AI. A couple of aspects of software/hardware. One was robo-taxis and the other one is ChatGPT. And if you haven't heard of ChatGPT, you've been living under a rock. It has taken the world by storm. Everyone's talking about it. People are actually becoming so-called experts and offering classes on how to use this for a fee and how to leverage ChatGPT. And it only came out last November, I think. I've entitled this Adventures in AI, Recent Experiences Using a Robotaxi and ChatGPT. What is a robotaxi? A robotaxi is also known as a self-driving taxi or driverless taxi, an autonomous car operated for a ride-sharing company. So the two major examples that we're seeing today are Waymo, and I think it's called Cruise, which is another company that is I think it's a division of General Motors. So I used a robotaxi at the end of March, and this was with my friend Larry is an early adopter. So I think he's been beta testing for Waymo. I think he signed up maybe about 2 or 3 years back. And because of that privilege, he's able to take and use the app to get free rides around the city with Waymo. It's not publicly available yet, so it's not been open to the public. So I think they're still testing the drives here. It is open in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's actually fully functional within Phoenix, Arizona at this point. So we met for coffee over in the afternoon, about 1 mile or so from where I live. And here's a short clip I want to play for you now.
So the app changed and it says unlock.
Unlock.
And if I press unlock, you'll notice the car. They open up.
And this has no driver. We're getting into a Waymo car with no driver. It's kind of hard to see, isn't it? Yeah. So just to confirm, there's no driver in the front, and we're in a Waymo.
And here, see the screen in front of us?
Yeah. And now we're going to start the ride. So you want to go ahead and press start ride?
Well, I'm going to strap myself in here first.
Do we have to, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to press start ride.
Wow.
And now you see you can follow the activities on the street here as the
That is so cool.
As the car navigates.
Yeah.
And I'm going to press music so we can play some music here.
Okay.
I like to play jazz. We're streaming some music here.
That is really cool.
And it's on its way.
Yeah. I have to say.
And you can follow its progress here.
Yep. So how many of these rides have you been on, Larry?
This is probably my 15th to 20th.
15th.
Yeah, I mean, Waymo needs people like me to take test rides.
Connected to rider support. This call may be recorded for quality assurance.
Okay.
Hi Larry, this is Leslie with Waymo Rider Support.
Hi
I'm
Leslie.
just calling to Hi, good afternoon.
Good
I'm just
afternoon.
calling to remind you that I'm just going to remind you that riders must wear a seatbelt while riding in
I
a
have to
Waymo
wear a
vehicle.
seatbelt.
Oh, yeah, so
What
I'm,
else do you know?
Yeah, yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it. I got it. I got it.
we're still in the process
The
here.
level you get.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got
okay.
it. I got it.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding us.
Thank you. It's I'm secured. We're fine. Thanks.
All right, perfect. Thanks for complying. And
Okay.
if there's nothing else,
Nope.
I'll be ending the call now so you can enjoy the rest
Oh,
of your ride.
how is my feedback to you on these rides? Am I giving you what you hoped for?
Actually, I don't have the visibility, but we really encourage all our riders to leave a feedback about the trip because it will help our engineers, our back-end team to streamline the process, to improve the process. Right now, it's very valuable since we are still learning.
Oh, very good. Excellent. Okay. And thanks again. It's been a pleasure.
That's great.
So far,
Yeah, and you're
my
good.
rides have been flawless so far.
That's great to hear. So you enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I won't take much of your time. So enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you. Bye bye. Pretty amazing.
Oops.
Well, that's good. You know.
Monitoring your weight, shifting your weight over there without
Yeah.
the strap and all that.
Yeah. I guess that's
I
good.
always strap in before I press the thing.
Okay.
That's how I typically
Almost
do
to your
it.
drop off. Check the app for walking directions.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's gone through some very challenging traffic scenarios during my weeks that I've been doing this, and it has flawlessly responded, even better than I would if I had been behind the wheel, seriously. So, are you still videotaping it? Or
I
what?
am.
Oh, and what is it? You're I don't think they can see us in the back seat because these windows are tinted.
Oh, really?
But the front, they can see there's no one in there.
Yeah. They're probably just like, what is going on? So we're just about finished with this ride. It was a short ride, only about 3 or 4 blocks, but still
more than that.
More than that, you think?
Yeah. Maybe
But
half
it's
a mile.
literally going to drop me off right across from Fulton, and
I don't think so. I think it's going to take you to.
oh, it's going to take me for more. Okay. I'll wait until this finished and then I'll stop.
It's very cautious about drop-offs.
Oh, okay. I see. So it's going to drop us off right
it's
here.
aware of this white curb here.
Okay. Well, this is
decided
it. This is the end of our. All right. So we'll say
It's the end
good.
of your ride.
End of my ride. So
I'm continuing.
okay. So now I'm going to stop.
Please
No,
make sure it's clear
So
before
pull the handle once to unlock and a second time to get out.
Okay.
There you
So
go.
it's going to stay parked until I close the door,
Well,
right?
I have to press resume
Got
guide
it.
when you close. Okay, Andrew.
All right. Thanks, Larry.
It was nice
Take
to
care.
visit with you.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye. That's it. What did you guys think so far?
That was great. I thought it was real interesting that it picked up that you didn't fasten your seatbelt.
Yep. And that was the human speaking. So that was the video that I just played. It literally dropped me a block from where I lived. So it was just a half a block up and I was there. But about 2 weeks later, there was a Waymo traffic jam. April 12th, there was a dense fog that rolled into this city, and there were about 3 or 4 Waymo cars that just decided to stop, and they blocked the traffic on that street for a few minutes. It was like 6 a.m, so it wasn't a big deal, but like it was a little eerie because you had all these like 4 or 5 Waymo cars that were just stopped. They didn't know how to navigate the fog. They just decided to stop where they were, and that blocked traffic. It wasn't a major street, but it was still kind of spooky. Imagine if that was in the middle of the freeway. So I wanted to bring up some questions. Would you use a driverless car or a robotaxi to get around Honolulu or even use it to take a trip around the island if it was offered. What would you do if the car pulled over or was in an accident? Do you think I misspelled that, sorry about that. Robo taxis are safe enough to be used in a city like Honolulu? And you could see how careful it drove, and like it was a pretty smooth ride. You can tell, right? You can tell, right? And he's been
What
on.
about the cost? Oh, I'm sorry.
So the cost, it's, from what I hear, it's comparable to taking an equivalent Uber, a little bit cheaper, but it's not. You can't take them yet, and I guess Larry he doesn't have to pay for it because he's still a beta tester, and I guess that's one of the perks about being a beta tester. You can take advantage of free rides anywhere in the city with Waymo.
Another point that the DARPA contest had, their robot challenge involved going from 5 miles an hour on rough terrain up to 50 miles an hour. That was done in that race in 2005.
Yeah, I think they're much more, I think this is much more limited. So I don't believe these cars are allowed on the freeway. I think you can only drive within the city on the side streets. I don't know if that's strictly true, so don't quote me on that. And I don't know what the regulations are in Phoenix, but it is available in Phoenix. So I could go to Phoenix, use the app, and actually hail a ride in Phoenix if I wanted to go anywhere within the city. The other thing to note is that the Waymo will not leave the city. So if you wanted to hitch a ride to the airport, you could do it with Waymo because it's outside the city limits. So it would take you to the edge of the city, and then it will say, oh, I'm outside of the city limits, so I can't go any further. So it'll just stop you there.
Andrew, I have a couple questions.
Mm-hmm.
Is the make of the car, is it a Waymo car or is it?
It is a Jaguar. I believe they just took a Jaguar, a nice Jaguar, and added the paraphernalia on top of it. The the LiDAR cameras and other equipment that they're using to navigate the car.
And it's an electric vehicle or an internal combustion engine?
Is it a what? I'm sorry?
Electric vehicle or internal combustion?
I think it's a regular Jaguar, actually.
Okay.
The cars that stopped in the fog, it sounds like there were people in the car and they couldn't do anything.
No, not for a few minutes. I think they were, actually, is that true? Let me go back to the article.
But
I don't know that for a fact. They may have been just looking for passengers when they pulled over.
But the drive that you went on, you were sitting in the back seat. I would imagine normal, whatever that becomes normal. There would be a rider next to the empty driver's seat, and it still doesn't seem like if the car decides to stop, that unless you get out of the car and go around and get in the driver's seat, that you can do anything. There's no override.
I mean, that's what I was wondering too, but I think there might be. I should ask Larry. He might know about that. I don't know. I can't answer that yes or no. I just don't know. I have seen the Waymo cars with a driver in them on a few occasions, and I think those are doing test drives to confirm that the system is working. But I saw them recently as being driverless. I think probably within the last 3 or 4 months. All of the Waymos that I've seen have been without a driver. So it is an interesting point you make. Oh, that's about that. Any other questions? Thank you for bringing those up.
Actually, I have a question, but I don't understand kind of the mechanics of the computer system. But is it dependent on anything external that might go out? Like, so it's not dependent on an outside internet system
I don't think it uses internet, like all of the navigation and guidance is that it uses to decide where to move and
Yeah.
when to stop. I think that's all controlled within the car itself. I don't think there's a remote worker or a remote someone remote
GPS.
directing the car. Yeah, GPS.
Okay.
But it does have GPS, so I think in an emergency they can come in and override the system and maybe cause it to stop. But I don't know that for certain. I think I would design it that way.
So, you know, you had, your questions apply to Hawaii that you ask, and when I see that car, I think it's, you know, like out of a dream.
Yeah.
But now I think about, I live near the Marine base, and they fly the Osprey, and you know, it rotates its engines, and the next thing it's a helicopter, and then they put it down, and it's a fighter plane. Anyway, that plane looks a lot like the 1930s movie of the future,
Yeah.
which I couldn't believe in the movie, and now I see it out in my living room.
I'd like to cover the second part of the presentation, which is on ChatGPT, and then I'm going to have to break off in about 15 minutes. All right, so let me continue with this. So the other thing that I was looking at that I've been using is ChatGPT. And what is ChatGPT? It's an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by OpenAI and released in November of 2022. So literally less than 6 months ago. It is built on top of OpenAI's GPT 3.5 and GPT 4 families of what are called large language models, and has been fine-tuned and approached to transfer learning using both supervised and reinforcement learning techniques. So these are all expressions out of machine learning / AI research. In layman's terms, it basically uses a very large corpus of text to help train the algorithm so that they can answer questions well. And so most of you probably heard or used ChatGPT at this point, but what is amazing is how quickly it has started to be applied to and used in many domains. It's hard to believe it was released toward the end of last year, now about 6 months ago. Now supposedly we can be 10 times more productive than we were before. So AI turns this single bullet point into a long email I can pretend I wrote. And then on the other end, AI makes a single bullet point out of all this long mail I can pretend I read. So that's what it's going to do for us. There's a whole new class of experts emerging that is teaching others how to use ChatGPT to be more productive. And this is an example. Let me see if I can share this with you, or you can share this with the group later, Sam, so that they can look this up. Let me see if I can share this real quickly. It's kind of interesting.
Andy, you'll probably make reference to how you've used it in your startup company.
Yes. Yes, I will. So this is an example of a class, 10 ways how to leverage ChatGPT and LinkedIn. And here's your host, who is the now resident expert on ChatGPT. And you can learn all about it for only $97. So, yes, you too can be a ChatGPT expert. So my company, Start Nation, used Google Translate to help write this description, and it was originally written in Chinese. We are a startup established in Silicon Valley, used by a number of Exidian alumni, developing and operating a disruptive innovation and technology application platform in the field of remote work. So Google Translate is not ChatGPT, but it uses, also an AI type algorithm to help translate from one language to another. We also use ChatGPT to help with some of the content for our pitch deck. However, Italy recently banned the use of ChatGPT. So, I just thought this was pretty hilarious. So here's like all of what people are thinking ChatGPT is going to do. So now developers are using ChatGPT to supposedly be more productive, to to outperform other developers, and then ChatGPT itself is going to essentially eliminate these developers. But Italy decided to just eliminate ChatGPT. So this is actually a ChatGPT session. If you would like to ask ChatGPT any question, it can answer for you. Anyone like to be adventurous and ask a question? Any question?
Is it gonna rain tomorrow?
What's that?
Is it gonna rain tomorrow?
It's gonna rain in Honolulu tomorrow.
Do you have to type that in, Andy, or is it something that it's listening to your voice?
No, it's not. It doesn't have speech to text built in. I think that would be something you'd have to install on top of it. So it chickens out. It says, "I'm sorry, as an AI language model, I don't have access to real-time weather information." Now, I do think they have an upgrade to Plus that might, but I'm not sure. So this is the basic version.
I have an example that I used where I said, I'm a frog, and I'd like you to write a story about my affection for the horse that's in the field next to where I live. And I'd like you to
wait, hold on. I am a frog. I'd like, please write a story about my affection for a horse.
There's the horse that's nearby that seems to ignore me. And I would like to...
Hold on, let's see. It seems to ignore me. I think let's just try this for now.
But I wanted to do it in a Shakespearean way.
There it is.
Just like that. It's hard to read that.
Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there lived a little frog named Freddie. Freddie had always been fascinated by the magnificent creatures he saw in the forest, but one in particular had captured his heart, a beautiful horse named Pegasus. Freddie watched Pegasus with admiration every day from afar. He admired how gracefully the horse trotted through the forest and how the sun glistened on her smooth brown coat. Freddie longed to get closer to Pegasus, to be her friend, and to show her the love and admiration he felt for her. One day, Freddie, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you can, it's pretty easy. You can just go to, if you're adventurous, you can sign up. It's a free service, and you can sign up to actually start using this yourself.
You can see why the schools are getting worried. Like, who are they educating? Are they educating the AI and getting fed? Because this is, obviously, it entertained us. It did everything that a teacher would give a grade A to.
So here's one I did. So I think we actually wrote this or was testing this a few weeks ago for a job description. So I just asked ChatGPT, write a job description for a UI engineer. That's all I asked it. And this is what it came back with. This long, and this looks very similar to the messages I get on email for some new job that recruiters send me all the time. It's like this format. So they're probably using ChatGPT to craft their messages to potential candidates.
I don't know if you had the example, but where they can do business plans. Or I'd like to start a business and give me an outline of the steps.
Give me an outline of a what?
Of a business plan.
Business
plan for what? For what? What kind of business?
To intervene with Hawaii state government to make it far more efficient.
To intervene.
That's coming from Howard Wig.
Yeah, I heard that. Hawaii state government.
What are you talking about? They got raises. They're going to be more efficient now.
Better be careful. You put you out of a job. Why would I need you if I can just ask ChatGPT? make it the new governor of Hawaii.
City council is so efficient that they got 63% raises. They deserve that one, right?
Of course. So that's it so far.
Okay, Andy, I think we appreciate you coming in.
I need to take off in a bit, guys. So it was great having you and letting me share a little bit about some of my experiences. Thank you.
Well, that was great, Andrew.
We'll see you all in a bit.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Engineers and architects of Hawaii welcome your comments on this program and any of our recent programs. We encourage your direct participation in this community outreach. So please email us your comments and ideas at eahawaii@gmail.com.